Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now May 22nd of 2020, and ever since the release of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, a lot of fans around the world have been very intrigued about the future of the Star Wars franchise by Disney and Lucasfilm, and exactly how both Bob Iger and Bob Chapek are really going to be able to handle things moving forward for the Star Wars community. This is Mike Zeroh. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the thing about Disney Star Wars is that they are now in a position of damage control. There's really no denying this because we have seen what happened with the Star Wars, franchise as a whole. Ever since the release of The Last Jedi, we've seen this steady decline in how the fans actually perceived the franchise, right? The Last Jedi was basically the film that derailed it because of writer and director Rian Johnson. Now, for those of you that like The Last Jedi, that is fine and okay. Everybody's opinion is welcome here below in the comments. That's perfectly fine. However, there's no denying here that a majority of the hardcore Star Wars fans absolutely had a big problem with The Last Jedi, and even more so in certain aspects with The Rise of Skywalker, and that's exactly why Disney and Lucasfilm now are really trying to create more authentic stories to really save the franchise, essentially, to really give the fans something to look forward to. And that's what Star Wars Celebration is going to be all about. We're going to be learning more and more about what essentially Jon Favreau, George Lucas, Dave Filoni, and others coming on board over at Lucasfilm are really going to craft for Disney Plus and for the theatrical releases. So that's one thing to look forward to, absolutely. On top of all of this, one person that I think a lot of fans really do respect is creator Jon Favreau, the man who developed The Mandalorian Season 1 through 3. He's working on Season 3 as we speak. Season 2 is beginning to wrap up. And what's really interesting is that now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are finished with The Rise of Skywalker, they are focused on the new Star Wars trilogy of films as well as the new Star Wars universe. Now, it's noted that both Bob Iger and Bob Chapek are currently developing multiple plans in order to create a better and brighter future for the Star Wars franchise and for the Star Wars community. Now, it's noted that they have over 10 years worth of Star Wars projects in the early development phase for Disney Plus alone, and that one of those projects are being created by Jon Favreau. Now, it's noted that Jon Favreau has been in the talks with actor Hayden Christensen to return as Anakin Skywalker in a very unique way for the fans to enjoy, though it's unclear if the project will be in an animated form or a live-action form. However, Favreau is said to have been given the okay by George Lucas to hire Hayden Christensen for the project that is in fact in the early works as we speak. Now, the decision to keep the character of Anakin Skywalker as relevant as possible within the Star Wars community to enjoy, and that Favreau wants to actually make sure that Star Wars sticks with the Skywalkers in multiple ways by both bringing a return of Luke and Anakin as well as bringing in new Skywalkers in the mix in different timelines, and that fans have never seen before. Now, the decision was actually started by creator George Lucas and was later then handed down to Jon Favreau on exactly how this will all be handled, wherein, of course, in this new Star Wars project for Disney Plus. Now, the project is actually aimed to drop sometime in 2023 for the fans, and that Lucas, Favreau, and Filoni want to actually prove to the fans that actor Hayden Christensen is actually a great talent to actually give to the Star Wars community and for the new Star Wars universe, and that they are currently developing that is actually set to be primarily going to begin with The Mandalorian Season 2, which releases this October. That'll essentially be the start of this new universe. Now, the project is actually set to begin development in full sometime in 2021, while the writing process begins later this year, and that new details of the roadmap of Star Wars projects will be unveiled sometime this August, once Star Wars Celebration hits in California. Now, the plan by Disney is to essentially regain many of the lost fans due to those who were unsatisfied with the sequel trilogy movies, and that this is George Lucas's way to also create more authentic projects for the fans around the world. Kathleen Kennedy is described to have no control over this new project that is being developed, and that she has no control also over how it will be implemented in the new Star Wars universe, which Jon Favreau and Kevin Feige from the MCU will serve as creators who will handle the backbone of it all, and how will will be structured from the beginning. So this is something very exciting, and it really does make me wonder exactly how in the world are they going to have Hayden as Anakin once again. Keep in mind that this is separate from the Kenobi TV series project, in which they do plan to have him come back as Darth Vader unmasked, and actually masked as Vader in multiple different scenes in the Kenobi TV series. So there is that. We also have other projects in the works, and there's one of them that's going to be done by Jon Favreau that's really going to show us a different side of Anakin, and that to me sounds very interesting. Now, again, we're not quite sure if it's going to be an animated or a live-action form. Nonetheless, Hayden is coming back into the Star Wars community, to the Star Wars franchise, and that really is the goal in mind, is that FFL, or LFF as I like to call them, Lucas, Favreau, and Filoni, they really have a goal marked ahead of their time where they really want to make Star Wars the way it was before things went wrong with the sequel trilogy. So with that being said, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.